Alright, so more gnarly stuff keeps coming out, and as you can see by this headline, David is one sick man. Today we're going to cover what has come out of the hearing so far. Again, it's quite disturbing, so consider this your trigger warning. Prosecutors presented text messages between David and Celeste, which they claim hold the motive for this murder. Prosecutors say the pair talked about a sexual relationship, pregnancy, abortion, and use of Plan B pills in these messages. In one of the texts presented, Celeste says to David, quote, "All we do is have sex and hang out. I want more for myself," end quote. Keep in mind, David was 19 at the time and Celeste was 13 or early 14. These messages were obtained from David's iCloud data, where they also found multiple sexual abuse images of Celeste. They also obtained Celeste's phone messages between the two from April the 22nd of 2025, the night before her phone activity went quiet, and they believe it's the night she was killed. These messages reveal Celeste's jealousy over David's relationships with other women, as David led her to believe they had a future together. The prosecutors said, quote, "She became extremely upset and threatened to disclose damaging information about her relationship with David to end his career and destroy his life," end quote. Also, small reminder, his first studio album was set to release 4 days after these text messages. So, really strong motive. He wanted to silence her before he could drop the album. So prosecutors say David stabbed the 14-year-old to death to silence her in fear of losing his career. And after ending her, prosecutors claim David bought 2 chainsaws online from Amazon and used them to dismember her body in an inflatable pool in his garage where Celeste's DNA was allegedly found. Here's a direct quote from one of the prosecutors. Knowing he had to silence the victim before she ruined his music career as she had threatened very soon after her arrival at his home, defendant stabbed the victim to death multiple times and stood by while she bled out. Oh, and by the way, he ordered her Uber from her family home. Just another disturbing detail. What kind of family lets their 14-year-old take an Uber to some guy's place in the night? Also, Celeste actually went missing twice, both times she was with David. But the first time it happened, when she got back home, her parents took her phone away. David then bought her another phone worth thousands of dollars. He also kept texting her phone after he had murdered her to cover his tracks.
When the defense attorney said the documents filed by the prosecution in David's case are prejudicial to their client, they were correct because each allegation is worse than the one before. Trigger warning, I'll be discussing abuse. The prosecutors filed a 9-page brief detailing their allegations. This is an explainer video. Celeste was reported missing in February and April of 2024. Presumably, she was with David. When she returned home, her parents took her phone away. David allegedly drove to Lake Elsinore and paid a student in Celeste's own junior high school class $1,000 to hand her a new phone David had already purchased for her so that they could keep talking. On February 17th of 2024, law enforcement called David because Celeste had been reported missing and they found David's number in her phone. He told them that he had not spoken to Celeste since about February 13th or February 14th. He told them that he did not know she was a minor. He told them that he did not know she had been reported missing. Deputies then showed up at his house that same night and he repeated the same thing, that he had no idea she was missing, but for some reason he showed them a yearbook photo of her that he had saved on his cell phone. Weeks before her death, prosecutors allege Celeste sent him a message that said, "All we do is have sex and just hang out, man. I want more than that for myself." She was 14 years old. On the night of April 22nd, 2025, the two argued over text. The prosecution stated that she threatened to expose the relationship and end his career. His first studio album was supposed to drop 4 days after these text messages. At 8:40 p.m. on April 23rd, David sent an Uber to Celeste's home in Lake Elsinore. She arrived in his Hollywood Hills house at around 10:10 p.m. and prosecutors alleged that he murdered her that night. At 11:30 p.m., David left his home and drove to Santa Barbara County. He texted and called Celeste the entire drive, asking where she was. Prosecutors alleged that this was a calculated scheme. He was not looking for her. He was creating a paper trail to make it appear he believed that she was still alive when he knew she was deceased because, well, as they say, he had just killed her. He traveled to Santa Barbara multiple times after her death. A worker in Santa Barbara actually found her passport card discarded in that area. On April 24th, David sent Celeste 2 more text messages, and after April 26th, he never attempted to contact her again.
Anyways, that's all for today. Everything that comes of this case happens to be worse than the last. Justice for Celeste. Thanks for watching.
I think it's your turn to pay.